Hello again and thanks for joining. So today I've got 4 Rivarossi coaches. They're all of the Trans-Europe Express Italian coaches in this great red and cream colour. These were produced back when Rivarossi was still an Italian company and they made all their stuff in Italy, much like Lemur did before both of them got taken over by Hornby. I recently did a review of a Rivarossi wagon which was made under the stewardship of Hornby, and manufacturing has gone out to China, and that wagon actually looked really good. But these coaches might be a different story because they've been made in Italy, but they certainly look really impressive in the boxes. So the model numbers run in sequence from 2, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And we have a service car, first class coach, a club car and a dining car as well. You can see that some of them say not for sale separately, so I guess this is part of a set. I'm not sure whether it was a set of 4 or there might have been some more, but we have 4 today anyway. So let me get all these 4 out of the boxes and we can have a look at them close up. So this is the first one, the 2555, and you can see already there's a problem. As soon as I took it out of the box, the bogie fell out. It's just held in with this little plastic clip here. It should be an easy push fit back in, but it does show one of the limitations of this model. Well, thankfully it was an easy repair there. I just had to push it back in and it was fine. So these coaches do impress with their length. They're really very bright as well and they look quite stylish. If we start at the end, you can see that some of the paint is already starting to wear off on this model, and it does have some little bashes and dings here and there. These are second-hand models after all, and it looks as though they were well used in the past. We do have separate parts here for the gangway, and the buffers are also separate parts pushed into the main moulding. And also I really like the connecting doors. They look very realistic with the clear glazing there and the silver to be the slide-in doors. That's really quite cool. Coupling hanging out here attached to the bogie, but it does articulate separate to it. And we've got the light grey on the roof and inside here. And we've got the cream and the red with a light grey line running the whole length of the carriage. Masking's pretty good on this. The printing on it is really good as well. The numbers here are very clear and precise. And there's also a lot of nice detail around the door with the rivets and this little piece here, the little step that appears. The bogies as well have got a wealth of detail on it. It's a very deep moulding, lots of definition of the springs and the axle boxes. Wheels do have quite large flanges and they are a wee bit dirty as well, but they do have blackened inserts. As we look down the carriage, we've got almost flush fit glazing, and it has these great silver surrounds and this little bar at the door here as well going across the middle. Trans-Europe Express printed here very clearly, and all the other bits and pieces down here, the running number of this coach and the FS logo. And then down this end we've got some more moulded in details as well. The other side of the coach differs a little bit because it's blanked off here where the toilet is. Aside from that, it's pretty much the same. The roof is very plain on these. It has some vents on the corners just beside the doors, and it has these hatches here with some rivet detail. Nothing at all until you get to the other end where it's exactly the same, but crucially there's no moulding marks or anything on top here, and the finish of the grey is really good as well. The chassis down here has some boxes moulded in with some additional detail underneath here, and you can also see Rivarossi made in Italy there. These ones are very good actually. The grille detail on that is nice, but each of them has a lot of character, even though they're mostly hidden underneath the valance of the side of this coach. Couplings aren't in NEM pockets, so you can't really change them. But like I said, they do move independently of the bogie to help this stay coupled up round tight corners. The glazing is really clear as well, and you can see inside that we have an interior there in light grey plastic. And overall, this is a very good looking coach and quite impressive as well with the detail on it. It is quite light though. We'll give these away in a little while, but let me get the next one out and we'll check out what's different with that one. This one is number 2556 and it's a first class carriage with compartments inside. You can see in the glazing that we've got a little gangway there with some clear plastic with some printing on it in silver to represent the little compartments. And on this side you can see the interior of those compartments, which is really quite cool. It's got a different running number than the first coach. Unfortunately a little bit of damage here as well. But aside from that, it's identical to the first. Still very impressive. Let's have a look at the next one. So 2557 now. This shutter door here moulded into the side of the carriage. And the windows are different as well. They're much smaller on this one. And I'm not sure what the interior is. It's got some seating at the front here, but some large thing in the middle. Can't quite see what that is. It does have a different running number though. And the roof is very much different with these vents here and these panels going across the top. And it's got some other little vents here, very nicely moulded in there. Around the other side of the carriage we've got more windows, but you can see it has a little gangway there with just what looks like a plain panel inside. This one is missing a buffer at this end, so it shows that these can fall out and get lost. And the other end is also missing a buffer. It actually looks as though it's maybe broken off there. So let's have a look at the final one. So this is 2558 and it's the restaurant car. Differences again, you've got little windows here. I guess this is the kitchen area. And then the main part has a different interior with some dining tables laid out there. The printing on the side of this model is different. It obviously says it's a restaurant dining car. And again, it's got some differences over the kitchen area with different little vents. Again, some paint has come off here, and this one is missing both buffers on one end. It's got them on the other end. But I'm seeing a pattern here that the buffers on these can fall out quite easily. So the masking on all these coaches is really good, except for just here on this end of the first class coach, where it does get a little bit fuzzy on this grey line here as it runs around to the end of the coach. That was the only little problem I've seen on the masking on all 4 of these coaches, so it is quite impressive in that respect. So here's all 4 now that we've had a look at them close up. I'll put one of these on the scales at random and I'll tell you how much it weighs. So this is the restaurant car and it weighs 116 grams. So the Trans-Europe Express collection of 4 coaches from Rivarossi, I think these are actually quite good coaches overall. They're perhaps not up to the standard of maybe Marklin or Pico coaches now, but of the time and made in Italy, these are actually really fantastic. There's great moulding details on all these coaches. I especially like the bogies, which are absolutely fantastic. And on the most part, the paintwork on these is really good. And also the printing is really good and crisp as well. I like the interiors and I like the finish on them. It's a really impressive set and I'm really impressed with these Rivarossi items. It's a shame that manufacturing's gone over to China because this just proves that you can manufacture in Italy and have some really good stuff. There's a few small niggles, like how the buffers keep falling out. I guess a little bit of glue would have helped there. And obviously the bogies are just push fit into the bottom of the coach, so they have a tendency of falling out if you're a bit rough with them. But that shouldn't be a problem with normal handling, and certainly not when they're running on the railway. So I would recommend Rivarossi coaches, these ones especially, really quite cool. And I think as second-hand purchases, you should be able to get these at a good price as well. But that's just what I think. What do you think about these coaches? Would they tempt you, or would you just not touch anything made in Italy? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel. I'll put one of these on the turntable so you can see all the way around. And in a moment, another video will appear. Just click on that and I'll see you there. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See ya.